Hello and welcome to Each Sold Separately, Collect Them All, an action figure podcast with me, Colonel Rains Carr, and your friend and mine, Brian Charles Rooney. There he is in his new toy room that has no toys. For those of you that are watching us on YouTube, you can see he has no toys, and it's very sad. Those of you listening, just imagine a sad little room with a sad little man and 10 toys in it. It's really horrible.
Not little.
Where are all your toys, Brian Charles Rooney? Where are they?
Well, if you've been following along our podcast, you know that I had our family had to move out of our place because of lead paint, and we decided for a number of reasons to move to home base to Nashville, Tennessee, where we have family, and we have a nice big house now, and it's beautiful. I was up doing the musical Matilda back in the New York area. When the coronavirus hit, our move was scheduled. The furniture and all of the stuff in storage that had been put in storage because of the lead paint place, my entire collection basically, was scheduled to move March 8th. They postponed that until the 16th, and then the full-on shelter-in-place $1,000 fine if you are less than 6 feet from another person.
Yes.
Went into effect. So the moving company canceled, and the storage place has the audacity to even, like, I went to pay it the other day, and it was like 2 days late, and they had charged us late fees. I was like,
well,
really?
That's awesome.
Really?
That's great,
Store?
guys.
Really? So don't.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and they're not waiving it. Like they're one of the few companies I think on Earth that's not waiving late fees or penalties.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just gross, and it's like $20. Which is a lot of money right now.
That is a lot of money right now. You're right.
So, having a home now, like a full house, or I mean, it's a nice, it's reasonable, with an actual toy room and my one shelf of toys, things I had either brought with me or had shipped here ahead of time.
Wow, you got a huge collection, dude. According to people on Facebook, people that started collecting last week, that's a huge collection.
Just most of it's on the table in front of me.
You've been collecting for 30 whole days, and you just got to show that collection off. I understand.
I've got this
giant weird playset that's been advertising toy people on Instagram and places, Facebook and places.
And I've got this fantastic figure.
Oh boy, look at how great that! Tell everybody who that is.
This is the McFarlane DC Multiverse John Stewart figure, which from afar is quite beautiful. If you get close to it or touch it, God forbid you touch it, because if you touch it, it's just gonna fall apart and fall down, die. Yeah, we've discussed these before. The articulation's a little strange. Like, he's supposed to be all green through the shoulder, but not in this figure.
I thought that toilet paper was supposed to be rare right now, and apparently you got plenty at your house.
I have a lot.
You got plenty. It's green. It's green shaped, but
you know what? It's still something. Like if you have been a collector for as long as I have, and you are suddenly without your stuff.
1 month.
Well, sort of 1 month. Not really, because we were out of that.
No, I mean you've been collecting for 1 month.
No, lies. When you are suddenly without everything and you don't even have access to it because you can't go to the place, because you'll get fined or whatever. Like and that is in no way a condemnation of the stay-in-place, shelter-in-place thing at all. I think we have to do that, or it's going to get a lot worse.
Yeah, it's going to get Spanish flu bad.
Yeah, or worse than that. And we can talk about the science of that, perhaps.
Yeah, we'll do that on our science podcast. And guys, we do have a science podcast. It's how the first episode talks about how you use McFarlane DC toys for toilet paper in these emergency ration times.
So the just being without it is stressful. And ironically, I have been a collector, use collecting and enjoy collecting, the art of it, to soothe anxiety, not to increase it.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. So not having it and, having to pay money for storage that we don't need.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is horrible. I feel it feels a little Greek tragedy, a little Twilight Zone.
We've talked about before. I used to have my toys in storage for a long time, about 4 years. And I finally had it cleared out, and my ex had gone in and stolen some of my really high-priced items.
That was one of the first things I thought of, actually, when it was clear that this was not going to be happening. When I showed up on the 16th, and they didn't come, and I had to call them, and they said, "Oh, we thought we contacted you. We've canceled all moves."
Great.
For the foreseeable future.
Yeah, until 2022 or something like that.
Exactly. Right. I mean, and it's possible.
How fun.
Yeah. I mean, I have Snake Mountain coming on the way, so that's nice.
That is exciting. So what's the word on Snake Mountain these days? What's going on with those Snake Mountain? Because I know it's supposed to come out soon, but what's the word on?
Right on schedule. There have been Pixel Dan did an interview with Brian. I've messaged a few times. They're right on schedule. They were, and then they were trying to hit for before Chinese New Year, but they didn't get the final sample in to their office before that. So they just got a packaging sample, and as soon as the final sample is approved, they'll go into production. And it was originally scheduled, I guess, late May, June. I think all of the orders said June 2020.
And we're talking about the Super 7 Snake Mountain. It's great, guys.
Yes, you can live in it if you
is really
lose
large.
your home because of COVID-19.
Right, and it's only $700 home, so it's a pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal.
Actually, not. And people are doing tiny houses right now, and it's a really tiny house, and it's got a cool, it's got all kinds of cool stuff on there. Well, I'm glad at least you have a few toys with you.
Yes.
So tell me then, since we haven't chatted in a while, and we haven't heard from anybody in a while because we've all been quarantining ourselves and doing whatever it is we have to do. I've been transferring all my classes online and doing things online and having rehearsals on Zoom and doing everything that everyone else is doing.
That's nice.
And I've been getting toys. I'm sure I've gotten a few toys. Have you? So tell me what toys you've gotten since the last time we talked. Since you moved to Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, in Nashville,
what toys have you gotten?
I had a few things shipped here. I had the last wave of Club Grayskull from Super 7, which includes this amazing figure.
Who is that? You're touching.
The Filmation version of Modulok from Super 7.
Oh, yeah, that looks nice.
He's amazing. I always liked this character. I have the regular classics version, and he's more kind of mini comic, toy, rougher, kind of scarier. This is definitely cartoon style and perfect. It included Stratos, Katrina, Shadow Weaver, Roboto, and Prince Adam. And Prince Adam comes with this amazing glow-in-the-dark power form that goes over his power sword. And it's kind of insane that in 10 years, 11 years, whatever it is, 12 years actually, no one decided to make that until the end.
That is a little odd because they have been making those classic style figures for a long time. Yes. I remember collecting them for a long time and then selling them all for profit. Selling them all for lots of... No, I didn't sell them for lots of money at all.
Well, they're still worth a lot. They
are very, very expensive. They're very, very expensive. And they weren't it wasn't like they only made 500 of them. There's a lot of them out there.
No, there's
I think, people are holding on to them like yourselves. They're not ready to get rid of them yet.
No, and I think, I looked online to see, does anyone have a junky collection that I could buy for like $50? $60 that I could sell later or turn into customs or whatever. No. Nope. There was one lot of about 15 figures and good choices: Sorceress, Evelyn, He-Man, She-Ra, a couple, a lot of B-listers, C-listers, but characters I like, other than those. And it was $38 for a good 5 days.
Yeah.
And then it sold for $380.
Yes.
For $385 or something. I was like, that's not happening.
I've noticed, I've been watching a lot of auctions, and everyone else has too, because everything's going for a premium right now because everyone's at home clicking on eBay or in their Facebook group or whatever, selling everything. And so if you want to sell, then now's the time to sell your collection because people are buying. People are spending their stimulus check on toys. I know they are.
That's nice. I didn't get one of those.
Yeah, I haven't gotten one either, so I don't know. I'm supposed to at some point, but who the hell knows?
Yeah,
Mine
sure
just
we
says
are.
payment status not available.
That's another nuts thing. Friends of mine, in collecting, you make a lot of friends around the world, and a lot of friends of
Sure.
mine are talking about what their governments are giving them.
Mm-hmm.
A
Isn't that
lot
nice?
more money. Some people are getting 90% of their income of their
Yep.
salary.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. And it is our tax money, by the way.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, it's a handout. Like, no, it's not. It's not a handout.
It's not a handout.
Our money.
Yeah, no, it's not a handout, which is nonsense. And I haven't gotten said handout, so I can't spend any money on toys with that money either. So it's kind of sad and terrible. What else?
You posted a funny meme yesterday or the day before, and I thought maybe you had gotten it, and I thought, I wonder what he's gonna buy.
That was like a dream. That was a dream. I thought
he's gonna buy something major. Like there's gonna be some cool new thing.
There is a couple of things that have gone up in the last week or two that I would love to have had, but they were even out of the stratosphere of that payment check. Like one of the play sets that I've never owned. I've owned most of the rare play sets around from the 80s, 70s, and 80s, and the only one I've never owned is the SDF-1 Robotech Matchbox play set.
Oh.
And it's unbelievable. And it comes up a couple times a year, once or twice a year. Somebody will have one for sale in varying conditions. The nicest one I've ever seen in like 20 years came up this past week. Went for $3,500.
Oh my God.
The last one that was just an okay one went for $600.
If you were in, let's see where, the UK or
true.
France, you actually would be able to afford that.
You probably would be, but no, even my stimulus check wouldn't cover that. There's also a really neat auction up right now that is for these prototype Monster Squad figures from the old Monster Squad TV show from the 1970s. And I think as of earlier today, I checked, they were at $5,000 for 3 figures.
Oh my God.
They'll probably go for twice that because these are the only ones that have ever surfaced that they actually even exist, because before that they were like in a catalog, like an Ideal Toys catalog was the only place they ever had a picture of them. And some guy actually has looked like they were played with versions of them. It's up to $5,000. So if anybody wants to put their stimulus checks towards getting Colonel Reigns a nice set of figures, please let me know. I'd be happy to oblige you. What else did you get? So what else have you gotten? Anything else?
What else have I gotten? Well, I got the McFarlane Batgirl that we were slamming. Because I actually like her. I got lucky. I ordered her on Amazon, and the one thing that I really hated was the smirk. But this one doesn't have as evident a smirk. It looks like a more neutral mouth, which really helps. And in hand, out of the pocket, I stole it.
Out of her pocket, yes.
Out of the package, she actually her legs don't look too long. I had said that the legs looked freakishly long, and they sort of did in the package, but if you bend the knee slightly and kind of pose them as a person would be, they look totally normal.
That's good.
Those
figures do not look good in the package. They do not
next to like DC Essentials. They're not.
No, that's a beautiful.
They're not the same size. She looks like Batwoman and Catgirl. Like it just doesn't work. I'm holding a DC Essentials Catwoman and the McFarlane Batman.
He's playing with his toy. He's playing with his toys, which is what we should all be doing during this wonderful time in our lives. Unless do whatever you got to do to make you happy.
Unless you are responsible for because my partner can work at home, which has been great, and I filed for unemployment and I got the stimulus thing, or I was supposed to, the extra money per week, which was basically equal to what I was making in the show that I was doing. So that's nice. But they didn't deposit it this week, and they said they did, and my bank is saying, oh no, there's nothing coming in, and I don't believe my bank. I think they're just sitting on the money.
I actually feel like banks are screwing us right now with something, because we've been getting a bunch of double charges for no reason, and like, oh, it can't get back to you for a month, or it can't get back for 3 weeks, or we've been getting a lot of suspicious, like, weird bank holding on the money crap, or companies double charging us. Have never done it before. Right. Oh, sorry about that. It's gonna take. It's like they're doing that to have some sort of cash on hand.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I wouldn't put it past them.
it's pretty sad, and it's scary, and yeah, things are things are frightening.
Things are a little weird, and it could get even weird. It's going to probably get a lot weirder.
Yeah, I kind of look forward to that in a way, though, because I think, and I don't, and it relates to toys just because you meet all sorts of people. It can be an expensive hobby. People ask, why are you investing in this? Why are you wasting your money? And it's like, well, I'm not wasting my money any more than anybody who spends it on alcohol or,
And you're definitely not wasting it because you can resell it if you have to. If you're in a pinch. Yeah.
Well, if you have access to it.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's some stuff that I would love to sell right now. But I don't. You hear all different points of view, and I just feel like the common point of view is that there's a way to live through this and survive without suffering too much, and it's to avoid focusing on the money part, which is easier said than done. But if the world decides that everybody just continues to do their job if they can, finds new ways of doing jobs, if there's some sort of like community and cultural effort to create work in a way that makes things safer, of course there are going to be people who try to swindle and abuse the system, but that happens all the time, and it happens at the highest level. No one talks about that.
No, of course.
But I feel like there is a way to actually get through this and actually enjoy some of it, the calm, the slower pace. But we have to make sure that everyone can eat and everyone can stay in their home.
Yep. That's the big thing.
The idea that they're going to start throwing people out of homes is just, it's ludicrous to me. And if it's because they can't afford to pay their mortgage, because they can't get the rent, then those people shouldn't have to pay their mortgage until this is a safe place to be and work.
But capitalism. That's a capitalist idea. You don't want to shut down the capitalist system.
I know. Either. I mean, I'm not. Yeah. They all work together. Like
they do.
Socialism and capitalism and communism. Socialism and capitalism work together well.
They work in our country very well.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, we need to get back to the economy. Not if everyone's going to die, because no one's going to buy anything if everyone's dead.
No.
And I'm seeing that in even when I got here and I was still able to go to the store twice with my mask and my gloves, nothing's coming in because everything's slowing down. So what's the plan? And toys is just one small fraction of the economy, but it's a significant one. So what is the plan to keep things going? And which kind of my point in talking about this is bringing me to the point that Comic-Con is canceled.
Yeah, that just came up yesterday that they're going to cancel, which is really interesting because there's all tons of stuff already in development, stuff that they've produced, stuff that's in factories that are going to be shipped. Because I know Hasbro's back up and shipping stuff. In China, so it's like, how are they going to offer that stuff?
I mean, Hasbro kind of is, I think, fortunate that they set up Hasbro Pulse and they have
because they can sell it all online, and I think that would be fun. Like if it's a blip year and Comic-Con doesn't happen, they should sell everything online for everyone to have a chance.
I agree,
and they can still make it nerdy. They can make it nerdy. You got to get up at 8 a.m. and blah blah whatever. They can still make it nerdy.
I was gonna say they should make it. They don't need to make it that nerdy. They can make it pre-order, and everyone would be happy. Like just reduce any stress. And put those panels online. Have Zoom meetings that people can watch. The Actors Union has been doing that type of thing. What do you do in the case of Lost Job? And I've watched a few. They work super well. Have people who are willing sit at home with their art and their talking points and their samples of toys or
I think that'd be great.
New comics and do these presentations online.
I think that'd be great.
I agree. I think it would just be a nice salve for all of the nerds in the world, and more people might be involved. And you know what? It might actually help them. Not that they need to sell tickets.
Right.
They sell out every year, but I think it might draw people in to things they wouldn't necessarily be interested in. Like toy collectors who don't collect comics might be more inclined to do so. Like they
Right.
decide, oh, I'm going to watch this today because I have nothing to do.
I'm going to
Um,
say something very controversial, and I don't know if I believe it myself, but I'm kind of happy that toys have slowed down a little bit.
I am too.
Because I mean, we've been drowning in great toys for years now. I mean, we're like in a super golden age of toys,
Yeah.
and it's gotten such a great golden age that even when I made more money, I couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
And now that I make less money, I really can't keep up. And it's kind of nice. I mean, when they're coming out with 90 Marvel Legends a year, and
Yeah.
I want 80% of them, if not
Mhm.
more, 80 to 90% of them. It's nice to have a tiny little reprieve. I mean, I know this is a horrible thing to say, but it's actually not a terrible. I'm sad because I love getting new toys in all the time and
Mhm.
getting stuff and blah blah blah. But it's actually kind of nice. I can really appreciate the toys that I get because it's
Yeah.
not so much happening all at one time. Like I can
No,
appreciate this guy right here, who's really cool. And this is Rage from the new Marvel Legends game First Wave. But you know, it's
That's
a really cool
amazing.
figure. He's a really neat figure, and I get to actually appreciate him because I couldn't find the whole wave. I didn't get it. I didn't go around looking because that's irresponsible.
Right.
And but I happened to be shopping and I found him. So I was excited about it. And
That's
he was the
pretty
only
great.
one there, but you
And
know,
that figure will have meaning for the rest of your life.
probably. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, and I've been thinking about that with the few things I have here.
Yeah.
They're providing me with some comfort. They're providing me
Definitely.
with, fantasy and joy, the things that I enjoyed about these things as a kid. And I will be getting to know these more, especially because I've been playing with my son with some of them.
Yeah.
That's a new thing, because he wasn't super, because all of his stuff is in storage too. So it's been like,
Yeah.
what can I was able to ship him a lot of things, but like a lot of Christmas presents that he didn't even unwrap
Right.
yet
That's rough.
because he
Yeah.
just didn't get to them, and because I bought too many.
That's
They're in a box in storage, and it's like, so we've been making things like
cool.
he's into Toy Story, so they have Ken from Toy Story. He was in a 2-pack that costs $400, and
Yes.
he really wants him because he's a significant part of the third movie. And
Yes, and he's amazing.
Yeah. So I was able to finally, after like searching for months, get the different pieces. They had the original outfit from the Animal Lovin' Ken that it's based on. They had like just random blue shoes that they sell, because Barbie collectors sell clothes all the time.
Oh yeah, that's a big.
They had some random brown-haired Ken that was in really nice condition. Just
great, yeah, because he's just the '80s Ken. He's just 80s Ken, yeah.
And then I bought a piece of light blue fabric off eBay as well, and made cut it. It was like this piece of fabric that was like this big, and I just cut a little thing to make the little neck.
His little neckerchief.
Yeah. And he freaked out.
That's great.
And it was, in the best way. So we made him Ken's townhouse out of one of the shipping boxes. Put like a level in there, hot glued it in.
Yeah.
Cut the door, and his contributions, like he's super proud of the things he's able to glue or cut or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So now it's where all his Toy Story stuff, which I was able to ship, hangs out. But it does make it attaches a more significant meaning, and I do agree. Like the constant, especially in the last year, like all of those amazing X-Men figures and X-Force and X-Factor, and for those who collect the movie figures, which I don't understand,
they're amazing and beautiful and wonderful, and I'm looking at about 200 of them right now, and they're pretty great.
The color palette is like 4 colors, but okay. And yeah, I mean, I don't, I didn't appreciate them. I didn't get a chance to appreciate them yet because I was too busy wondering when the next thing was coming and if I could find it and if I, etc.
Well, and then things just stack up. I know so many collectors that collect so many things that they don't even open stuff. It's just like sitting there in a room.
Yeah.
Just boxes and boxes of stuff just sitting there, and they haven't even opened it up. And it's just like, and they're actually, now that they have time and they're at home or they're working from home, they're actually opening up their toys and playing with them, which is very exciting. Yes. My friend, the other Brian, he finally opened up G.I. Joes from the last wave from like 7 years ago. Finally opened them up. And he's finally setting up his GI Joes, which he has 800 of for the first
Well, he
time.
better, because he's gonna have to get rid of them all and move them out of the way for the next incarnation.
Yes. Speaking of which, he did. My birthday was last week, and I turned an obscenely old age, and but for my birthday, the other Brian, who I've been collecting with my whole life, ended up getting me this beautiful thing right here, which is the new GI Joe Classified Snake Eyes that came in the
amazing
box with a lot of fun stuff. And it was he's a really interesting figure that employs a lot of stuff that Star Wars Black and Marvel Legends, and even some new things that are really interesting. And kind of is the best of both worlds, and he may be the greatest 6-inch figure ever. I'm not sure yet, but he's really beautiful. And well, so that was a nice present to get for my birthday. So I did get toys for my birthday. I got Commando Snake Eyes, and I got the 3-pack, one of the last Marvel Cinematic Universe 3-packs that I never got, Brian Charles Rooney, which was the one with Pepper Potts from Iron Man 3.
Oh, yes.
The Mandarin, and that's a great figure.
I was talking to a friend about that figure. My friend Julian doesn't like figures with bare feet.
Okay. That's not very heavy. Right? She has bare feet. Yeah,
he's like, I don't know why, but he's like, I don't like
thing.
Freaks me out. It's like, well, I mean,
that's somebody with a foot problem, I guess.
I guess
sort of foot issue.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Can we pause for a second?
We can pause for station identification. You are listening to Each Sold Separately, Collect Them All. Brian Charles Rooney's screen is frozen. And it seems like we are now back. Brian Charles Rooney has done whatever he has to do. I think he had a Green Lantern toilet paper emergency, but I'm not really sure.
No.
I'm joking, of course. But we were talking about...
I was tending to my family.
Yes. Well, just to let you know what toys came into my life, if you're interested.
Yeah.
Since last time we talked, like I said, Commando Snake Eyes. I got that 3-pack for my birthday. The Mandarin and Iron Man Mark, whatever, and Pepper Potts of their bare feet, which I think are awesome. I also got this cool guy from Castlevania, Alucard, which is a cool figure from Castlevania.
I love that
Netflix Castlevania series that our friend Ted works on, and some other friends and things. And it's a really cool, really beautiful figure. The other two were there. This is like 2 months or a month and a half ago, and I didn't get them. I was like, I'll come back, and then the country went to hell, so I was able to get them, and now I can't really get them, but that's okay. But I also found recently, I got Rage, Marvel Legends Gameverse wave, and I also found the Black Widow wave. So I only got a couple because we don't have a lot of money. So I got
Winter Soldier.
I got the Winter Soldier. Thank you, Winter Soldier and Crossbones. So those are the two I got. I also got that white Black Widow Target exclusive. Both of them, the one with the stand from the movie and the one that's the comic booky one that Brian Charles Rooney hates because she won't stand up straight. But what a great head. Look at that head.
Yeah, and the weapons are cool, and the little fire.
The weapons with like the little smoke that comes out.
Yeah, those are great.
That's one of my new favorite accessories is the stuff that came with her. It's the reason I bought that figure was for those accessories.
The one I really want is the Walmart one, which I had pre-ordered with the jacket and the short hair.
Gray outfit and the cool hair. I know, I want that one too.
I had it pre-ordered. The card I used to pre-order it expired. So they send me an email, and they're like, can you please update your payment? So I go in to do that, and it won't accept any of my credit card. Like, it won't, none of them, as though they don't function. And that was not the case. They were all working. I write them a letter or an email saying, can you help me with this? They don't respond.
Of course.
And I had to cancel it. And then as I put her back in the cart, because there were some available, as I'm checking out, it goes out of sale.
Yep.
Like, in that moment. It had been there earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And then and I get an email the next day, please update your payment for this thing. So it's like, oh, maybe it's still there and it didn't cancel. So I click it and it says cancel. Like, really, Walmart? Really?
Right.
During this, you're going to do that? Really?
That sounds like Walmart. Yeah. Sounds like old Walmart. No, I know people, I haven't heard of anybody finding her in person. Because I know people have found her in person in other parts of the country. But down here where I am, I don't think anybody's found her in person yet.
I wonder if
But
she's
that's
there.
the coolest of all the exclusives to me is that Walmart one with the gray
Yeah,
outfit and short
the
hair from
jacket. That's
I
super
think that
cool.
thing is so that's such a neat figure. I'm trying to think of if I got anything else. Oh, I also got the for my birthday I got Cosmic Ghost Rider
Oh, really?
from the Riders set. Yep. There's not a lot of stuff out right now, so there's only so much for people to get me. So what are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
No, that's true. Do you have Squirrel? You have Squirrel Girl
I got Squirrel
already, right?
Girl. Yeah, Squirrel
Yeah.
Girl's great. That's a great figure.
Yeah, I almost just because of price, and I thought, oh, she'll probably be cheaper later, which is what I had always thought about the Black Widow
Yeah.
motorcycle set, but I've never seen that reduced,
I never saw that one reduced either.
which is strange because it's constantly available at the places that I used to shop in New York. It was always there, and I'm like, is no one gonna drop this from $40 to something
Oof.
slightly more reasonable?
Hey, I got it for my birthday, so I can't complain. I can't complain. I got it for my birthday. I probably would not have gotten it otherwise. Because I'd seen it a bunch of times, and it's really neat. Especially the bike is really
The bike is really cool.
It's a really neat toy, but it's probably not one I would have picked up otherwise.
Right.
Other than that, the other Brian has decided to get rid of all of his Marvel Legends. And so he let me get the pick of the litter before he sold them. And so I took all of he collected all those weird old Iron Man concept series figures from like 2008, 2009, 2010 from the first couple of Iron Man movies. You remember those?
Right.
They used to hang at Toys R Us they were only at Toys R Us, usually Target sometimes. They were like they were like the smaller versions. They had one where Tony could take his helmet off.
Right. I was just gonna say
there's like 50 different versions of Iron Man that you never heard of, and I never wanted them. I had a couple of them, but I was like, nah, I don't care. But then I saw all of his together, and I was like,
now you have them all.
I don't have an armory that's that big, and I could really make this armory a lot bigger.
Oh my gosh!
Because my movie one was bigger than my comic one, and so I was like, maybe I should have an armory of comic and movie ones. So then I'll have a whole bunch of Iron Men. And so now I'm stalking eBay and other places for the rest of the concept figures because he had about half of them. Right. So I'm looking for the other half right now. So if anybody has any of those old concept figures they don't want anymore, let me know. I'll take them off your hands for a good price because most of them are totally worthless. Except for a couple that were exclusives that are a little bit more, like $20-$30, but most of them are $10-$15 kind of worthless figures.
Right.
So I'm getting a little nerdy about all the cheesy Iron Man figures that have come out in the last 10-12 years, and trying to recollect because I never was an Iron Man armory building guy. I didn't really care, but as soon as I saw his together and then I put them on my shelf with all of mine, I was like,
right,
maybe I do want to have an Iron Man armory. I'm looking at. I got probably 40 plus Iron Man figures over here, movie and comic book, probably 50. There's a lot.
You need to make I don't know what it's called, but basically his Bat Cave.
Well, there's some companies from overseas that do have like little consoles. You can buy like his computer console, and they make the little things to put the figures in and all that, but it's expensive. That's an expensive hobby, building a little
it is.
Iron Man Batcave is pretty expensive little hobby.
It's because there's so many different components. There's like, if you really want to get serious, you can do lenticular sticker stuff. You can do chrome, kind of pen chrome application. You can do and then if there's any sort of outdoor display of any sort and any of that stuff, that gets crazy.
No, and you could have a lot of fun. If it was my only thing I collected was Iron Man, I would do something like that. But, like yourself, I collect more than one thing. In fact, I'm sitting in a room that has a lot more than one thing in it. And so during this COVID-19 quarantine, I have rearranged about 20 of the 115 shelves in my toy room. I'll probably get to the rest of them because I'm looking around going...
simplify. I think you need to just purge it all and...
Give it all to you. Just send it all to me.
It's really peaceful.
No, it's actually really nice having a big toy room, but it's I really need about 3 times as much
Something in
space
it.
because they are crammed. I mean, it's like 35 figures per shelf here. It's getting a little
Right.
intense. But I have redone a lot of shelves, which has been a lot of fun, and sort of found stuff that's in boxes and started playing with it. Like I pulled out all my old Titan AE figures the other day, and I was like, "Oh, these are sweet."
Wait, what is that?
That's an old Don Bluth animated movie from 2000 that Matt Damon was the star of.
I have to look
Like
that up because
he's in
that's
space. You've probably seen it. He was in space, and he's like orphaned, and he's got like the key to save humanity and all this nonsense. But they made a toy line that my friend Tim Sheridan, who's been on our
saving
show before,
humanity is complete
we
nonsense.
got them all on clearance at Toys R Us in in Los Feliz, California,
Oh.
outside of Hollywood. They had a little Toys R Us out there we would stock, and they had them all on clearance. So I ended up with all the figures. You remember Titan AE? No,
No.
you've never seen that film?
No. I guess this is going on my list.
Were you in college then? Like, what's going on here? You were in college
Yeah.
then, right? So
Yeah.
you may have missed it because of college, but it was a pretty fun.
That's
It's a
totally
fun.
why. I think I saw like.
Do you like Don Bluth? He's the guy that made American Tail and
Yeah.
Secret of Nim and all those cool movies.
This looks fun.
It's a fun movie, and it's Matt Damon's a star. It's basically like Earth is being attacked by these dredge aliens, and they destroy the Earth. And Matt Damon's dad has been working on this thing called AE, After Earth, which is like a ship that can restart a planet, sort of like Star Trek 2 or whatever.
They're showing it in this
Yeah, it's
picture.
like Star Trek 2, and it's a pretty fun movie. I feel like it was on Netflix for a long time. It might still be on there, but it's a fun movie if you've never
now
seen
that I
it.
want to watch it, it's probably not.
You're probably right about that.
Every time
every time.
every time I go, oh, that's on Netflix, and then I go, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. That's really funny.
Yeah.
So have you? And I've also been focusing on my modern GI Joes. So the 2000 teens GI Joes. I've been trying.
That's a collection.
Yeah. That's
a collection I collected GI Joe as a kid.
Yeah.
In a limited way, and I haven't since. I have like of the newer ones, the 25th anniversary series. I have Cobra Commander and Scarlet. That's it.
Whoa.
Okay. So this new, the new 6-inch effort, I resisted, and then when they showed Destro, I was like, yeah, done.
Oh, that Destro was like, I'm pretty sure my eyeballs fell out of my head. And other bodily functions happened when I looked at that photo.
And they showed the poster, where the Baroness is basically the main character. I was like, that's very interesting, which is deserved.
The Baroness is awesome.
Yeah, I mean that figure is going to be insane.
Even if they just make the figures that are in that image, I'm fine. It's like 10, 12 figures, totally fine. Get Gung-Ho, Baroness, and all them.
They're apparently making I didn't buy Roadblock because I don't like that version. I like the
classic green
camo tank top version. And a friend of mine who has some inside hooks into Hasbro was like, yeah, they're definitely making of him. They're definitely making that other version.
Oh, I'm sure.
Going to come with something or what? But yeah. So
I'm sure they're doing classics. They have stuff that's coming out like a $12.99 line. That's supposed to be a 3 3/4 line. That might be classics. A lot of people are thinking that they're going to be reissues of the original figures, O-ring style, which I think is weird. I think it'd be better for them to re-release the 25th anniversry, but
yeah,
those figures are so much better.
They're so much better, and
so nice. And just make them perfect comic book colors or cartoon colors.
Right.
And I think they would sell really well. But yeah, I've got more than 2 GI Joes. In fact, there's probably 300 and something over on the aircraft over there. But Brian, the other Brian's setting up. He was counting them. He's sending me totals. He's texting me totals this week, and they're up in he's up in the 800 range because he has 99 Cobra Troopers.
Right. Right.
And 99. I'm like, I didn't even ever see that many of them. I don't even know how he found that many of them. Because he found them all. That's all at retail. He never bought any online. That's all finding them at retail. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. There are a lot of, but there's so many characters, and there are so many variants of those characters. So it's kind of insane. Is there? I'm imagining. I don't know. There are more GI Joe figures than there are Star Wars, I believe.
There are, I think. I think there's a lot more.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know, because Star Wars has gotten pretty deep. But I think there's more because I don't
Well,
have
I guess,
close.
yeah,
To all,
I
I don't
kid
even
you
have
not if
close
you
to
don't.
all of the modern ones. I don't even I don't have any of the. I have a couple of club figures. I don't have very many of them. That's the
Right.
stuff I'm missing. Is that there's about 20. I counted it up. I'm at about 24 figures from where I want to be, and those figures range from $50 to $200 each. So
No.
times that times 23, and you're like,
No.
So like, it's gonna take me 10 years to get all those,
Right.
which is
My
horrible.
what was my top 10? I was talking to my friend Steven about this new 6-inch line, and my top
Yeah.
10 were the Emperor, Baroness,
Emperor. Who the hell's that?
or the not the Emperor.
What the hell are you talking about?
What's his face?
It must be late at night. You're crazy.
The Emperor's from Star Wars.
Cobra Commander?
No, the
Dr. Mindbender?
no, the
Serpentor?
guy in the gold with the gold
Serpentor?
chariot.
Serpentor.
Serpentor, thank you. The Emperor.
He is the Cobra Emperor.
I mean, he sort of is.
He calls himself that, so you're semi-correct.
Semi-correct.
G.I. Joe fans are literally screaming at their iPods and their phones.
Whatever.
I just said iPod like that was a real thing.
Wait, no, listen. There, so him, Serpentor, Baroness, which is she's obviously coming.
Oh, you bet.
Zartan, Zarana, Jinx, Quick Kick, Spirit, Cobra Commander in his armor.
Mm-hmm. Battle armor one.
And then I cheated and said the entirety of Cobra Law, including Python.
No, just all of them, yeah.
Oh, and Sergeant Slaughter.
So you're wanting like a movie-driven line, essentially. Mostly movie G.I. Joe the movie stuff.
Yes, that was
later
that was
Joe stuff. Yeah.
And,
well, that's
Destro,
more your
any version of Destro I'll take.
Oh my God, that Destro! Can we get back to that Destro figure?
It's perfect.
Cow! I'm
It's
telling
perfect.
you, that's the greatest figure that's being produced on the planet this year. I don't care what the price is.
Yeah.
It's the greatest figure I've seen of any type of figure.
Well, it's not a crazy terrible price. It's not, it's normal.
Oh, it's $19.99.
I mean,
that beautiful thing is $19.99.
Like $19.99 for a 6-inch figure. That's totally normal.
But that Destro, I would pay $49.99 because he's so beautiful. No, you're right. I wouldn't pay that.
That's ridiculous. No,
we have them all pre-ordered, so we will be getting them all.
He's perfect in every way the Scarlet is not. And that's why I didn't go all in.
And in person, and the Duke, because the Duke looks great.
Yeah, he's perfect.
The Snake Eyes is great, and now they showed the this week. People have been sharing photos of the regular Snake Eyes, which is an all-black version of the same figure, with new guns and stuff. That's a little different from the other one, which
that's
is
the one I'll get. Except he should have come with his wolf. I don't know why they didn't.
The wolf's name is Timber.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. I was pretty sure I knew it, but I didn't want to say it.
Well, Hasbro did release the first 15 episodes, which are all the little mini-series. So get on YouTube and watch them. They released them for free during COVID-19. So get on there and watch them if you haven't watched them already.
On YouTube?
Yeah, they're on YouTube. They're on Hasbro's YouTube. They released them in really nice HD. The first 15 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a very long time since I've watched any G.I. Joe. I remember going to look for the movie and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, the movie you kind of have to order because it's not. You can't. It's tough to. They don't stream that thing very often, and you got to go find that sucker.
I couldn't buy it. I couldn't even find it to buy.
Yeah, I think it can be a little tough to. It used to be for a little while. But yeah, I've been going through Joe's. That's kind of because they're relaunching G.I. Joe this year, and I hope this COVID-19 doesn't destroy this relaunch of G.I. Joe. But
it might.
I mean, it's going to destroy a lot of stuff, and this might be one of them. I'm hoping it destroys a lot of things, a lot of other things, a lot of other corporate insanity, but not my corporate toys. I don't want my toys.
Swing through your door and break all your toys.
Hey,
and drag you to jail.
Hey, I didn't get my stimulus check, so I can talk as much smack as I want.
True.
I'm one of the 60 million people that hasn't gotten it, like yourself. But no, I'm all in. I'm all excited. 6-inch Joes, if they want to bring back out, the regular size 3 3/4 stuff, totally fine. I'm in. I'm buying. I'll buy everything. I'm ready. I think G.I. Joe's poised and ready. I think people like yourself that aren't big G.I. Joe collectors are going to be like, oh, G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
I finally pulled He-Man's head out of my ass, and there are other things I like G.I. Joe. Maybe I'll collect some of that because you guys have gotten everything you could ever want. You got your stupid snake out there. Is his head. You can stick that where the sun don't shine right now if you. Whoa. Yeah, don't pretend like you don't have a sex toy with that head on. Anyways,
no. That's never happening. It has never happened, and it will never happen ever,
okay,
ever.
just tell us all the truth right now, Brian Charles Rooney. At your He-Man conventions, there's no
Yes.
He-Man cosplay-related sexual things happening.
No, not that I know of, and I don't know that I would want to.
People don't invite you to this? All right, any He-Man people listening, invite Brian Charles Rooney next year.
No, I don't need to. I don't need to do that. Cosplay, that kind of thing. I don't. I mean, I guess it's. I guess because I'm an actor, like I don't know how you do that with a straight face. Like, how do you?
I know. I don't know how to either. I
like
can't
use because to me that's like. It's such a real. I mean, this is a totally different discussion, but like
it is.
that type of experience is like the most raw and real experience you can have. So like putting layers of fantasy play on top of it, I totally appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do it without completely divorcing myself from the moment.
So tell me hypothetically, if that were to happen at the convention, what character would you be hooking up with, and why?
Oh God.
I think for me, it would have to be like a furry situation, and would be Battle Cat.
You would be Battle Cat, or you would?
No. I'd want to hang out with Battle Cat. Yeah.
I mean, it
knowing
mood.
me, I'd want to dress up like the sorceress, but
it depends on mood.
Well, what is your mood at the He-Man convention usually?
It depends. Oh gosh.
What if it's after a great day?
Mini comics Prince Adam, not the cartoon Prince Adam. There's a difference.
There is. Very specific. Ooh, I've stumped the He-Man fan.
Triclops, maybe? Like 2000X Triclops. He was real pansexual and real bitchy. And
what about Mechaneck? Could probably do some fine work.
No, thank you.
Or I would assume that everyone's just dressed as Ram Man.
Ram Man or Fisto. I mean, Fisto's handsome, but I'm not interested in the metal glove.
I didn't even think about it. Oh, that line is so gay. I love it.
That's too much.
Oh, I love that line. That line is so gay. It's the greatest.
Bo from She-Ra.
Bo was pretty. Well, that's a handsome fella right there. That's like
that would be
Lito hanging out at your house.
And if it were women, probably. I mean, Evelyn's amazing, but I don't know that she's.
I'd probably be an Adora fan. That'd probably be the way I'd go.
Yeah, Adora's pretty great.
But I prefer the hair down than the hair up. I don't like the hair up. I
right.
prefer the hair
down. Definitely not Glimmer. Glimmer's not invited at all.
With this conversation, I don't even know where this conversation.
I love Teela,
yeah,
but
she is. That's not. Well, I mean, it depends if you want a harsh night.
I guess.
Like having sex with a Klingon or something. But might be kind of rough. But this conversation, I don't even know where it's going.
It's funny, and people are gonna love it.
But,
no, wait, there's got to be more than that. Wondar, that would be a good one. That's the brown.
Would he have to bring his loaf of bread?
Yes. Just for the hell of it. Yes, Wondar is a good choice. Man-E-Faces might be interesting. Except there's all that armor, so it's kind of.
Yeah, that'd be too hard to get into. It's just too rough. To me, it's like the fur rug. You rip that sucker off, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Or of course, as we know, that could be just part of
Or Keldor, like pre Skullface Skeletor, Keldor.
Yeah, if you're into purple things, that's not a bad way to go.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah,
that's a lot of weird personality there. That's interesting.
Well, this is something that those of you PowerCon friends that are listening, this is something. If it's not happening already, can we get this started, people? Come on now. This has got to be. There's got to be a subsection of PowerCon that this is happening, because I know there's a subsection of Comic-Con where this is happening. So there's got to be. There's got to be something.
I mean, there's stuff that happens, I guess. But last year, not last year, the year before, when it was still in Torrance, California, there were a group of guys that were like, there was a garden area with a pool, and there were people. There was one guy smoking meth out in the courtyard. Yeah, it was.
Nothing goes better with He-Man than meth.
It's a very wholesome fandom.
Except for the Torrance, California part, I guess.
Apparently, but it's a nice hotel. No, these people were at the con.
That's hilarious.
It's hilarious and disturbing. But
So they brought their meth. They like flew on the plane or drove in with their
or
meth.
they were
And
there,
we're like,
or they were from
boy, that was a
California.
rough day of reveals. And man, having to listen to Pixel Dan one more time, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some meth.
God, you're so mean. No,
in good fun.
Well,
Come on.
that's the thing. Like, you're at this convention, which is like sensory fulfillment.
It's great.
It's a fun. PowerCon is very fun.
Nostalgic fulfillment. It's friends. It's fun. Yeah, of course.
It's like relaxing. It's not crazy crowded. So it's crowded, more and more crowded. It's crowded last year. But it's like fun. It's not insane. It's not Comic-Con where like there's 50 billion people and none of them are there for what you're there for. So I thought that's interesting that they are, they're relying on that here. I just like it's not escapist enough, I guess.
Some people got me neither. But some people got problems, I guess. Some's just not enough. This is why. See, the guy wouldn't be doing meth if you started this cosplay.
I'm pretty sure they were having their own.
And this could be a way that you make money and to buy those expensive exclusives there.
Yeah, but there is a booth. I forget what they're called. I'll have to look it up and we'll talk about it next time. But there is a company that makes like sexually related, sexually themed Masters of the Universe themed items. And I am no prude by any stretch of the imagination that way. And I walk by that booth and I'm like, no, like they're great guys.
Hilarious. Sure.
Yeah. But it's super not kid friendly, and it always surprises me that they get in and they have a booth because there are a lot of kids this last year especially. But usually stuff like that goes over a kid's head.
Oh yeah.
Theoretically.
That's hilarious though.
Yeah.
Well.
We have to have this.
Well, now that we've
theme every episode, like
that's right.
The dark side.
The dark side. But now that we've taken this conversation to the farthest it can go, tell us before we go. Tell us what are you looking forward to here coming out soon? Hopefully, if it's something you can order. What are you looking forward to coming out? Not that piece of junk that you're showing me, but what are you looking forward to? Anything? Like what's the pre-orders besides Snake Mountain? Like what's anything what's coming out that you're excited about?
Quite a few things. The 2 waves of Ninja Turtles from Super 7.
When are those supposed to hit?
I think the first wave is. I mean, now who knows because everything's delayed.
Yeah.
Not for the first wave is soon. I think it was originally I think second quarter of.
Yeah, so they might summertime. It'll probably be summertime.
Probably. Yeah.
Everything comes out in July.
Thundercats, I didn't order the first wave because I have all those, although now I wish I had because I'd have them. The second wave I ordered everyone but Kumaira because they made her, I guess, what they think is cartoon accurate or whatever and shorter, and the Mattel release was taller, and I actually like her taller. But she's also in storage. So that's Tigra, Groon, and
Well, those aren't coming out for a long time. Those are not going to come out for a long time.
Well, that's more recent. The newest wave is Chitara, Jaga.
Those we won't see those till like next year, next April or something.
Right. Yeah. So those I'm interested in. The Ninja Turtles. What else do I have? Oh, all of the Masters of the Universe Funko Pops that are coming out.
Okay.
Like Sorceress and Tongue Lasher and Prince Adam and Cyclone and Webstore, and they have a He-Man and Battle Cat, and there's a giant Skeletor, like one of the large size.
Yeah.
And it's $40, which isn't terrible.
That's not bad. That's not terrible.
I'm trying to think of what else I'm looking forward to. I'm kind of like a little bummed, turned off by Marvel Legends at the moment, although I am glad of the break. Grateful for the break. Although I am extremely excited by the Comic-Con exclusive rumor.
Which is what? What's the rumor?
I mean, I've heard it from like several people, and I've kept my mouth shut.
Then give us. Oh no, you haven't told me. I have no idea. I don't know what it is. So tell us, reveal it right now to us.
I may be able to put that kit bash that I've been working on the shelf.
Okay, so we're gonna have maybe some Hellfire friends.
Perhaps.
That would be really exciting.
I mean,
Sebastian and friends.
Yeah, the old rumor was that was supposed to be a Toys R Us exclusive,
Right.
and then Toys R Us closed. So I guess they've been trying to figure out what they're doing or how they were doing it. And the question was, is it going to be the modern Hellfire Club with her in her more astonishing X-Men type costume and like white Magneto and Namor and whoever? Or is it going to be the classic one with
her please
in her panties and
yes,
Sebastian Shaw and
that would be so awesome.
And then the question is, when I heard who the Black Queen character was, it's clearly classic.
Oh, good.
So, and it's a missing character. So
that's great. That'll be a fun set to have, and if we can finally get a really decent White Queen, I would be very happy.
Yeah.
Because that Walgreens one is really rough on my ass when I wipe my ass with it every day. It's
oh my god.
It's a little rough.
It's just not. I mean, it's fine if you're into that newer version, but and it's whatever. It's just not. There are so many versions of her that would be so cool as figures, and the fact that we have so many versions of other characters and not her doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I get why, okay, they don't want to put someone out in a G-string or whatever, but there are 5 billion other versions of her where she's completely clothed.
They have her, you can put her in pants, and there's all kinds of different things you can do, and it just make a good one. Just make a good one. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
Put it in a decent thing. Just make a good one. Sorry, Ricky. Just make a good. They haven't made a good one yet, Ricky. But soon.
No, they really haven't.
Give us a good one, especially in this day and age of Marvel Legends. Let me tell you, this Rage is amazing. These new boots on this guy are unbelievable. Like we're in a good time for Marvel Legends, and the movie figures are beautiful.
Make the animated villains pack from the Pride of the X-Men and give us Pyro and Toad and Blob and whoever, or Toad wasn't.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my dang Toad and Pyro, so we'll see. I mean, I got the old Pyro.
That? Where's that brother?
I need my Toad. I definitely need a Toad. But yeah, I think the only thing I'm really looking forward to, I'm actually excited about this break, but I'm looking forward to the reveal of whatever the 3 3/4 G.I. Joes are supposed to be.
Right.
And I don't really care what they are. I just don't want them to be crap. As long as they're non-crap, then I'm happy. You know, even the 6-inch stuff, I'm getting all that. It's pre-ordered. It's all gonna happen.
Right.
And the Scarlet and the Roadblock aren't my favorite versions, but I still want them. And as long as the rest of it's just not crap, if they just make a straight cartoon line like they're doing with Thundercats and they're doing with He-Man, that all these companies are doing, everyone would go nuts. Even you would collect them. You would collect those. You and maybe some of them, but
it depends on how much they are, and it depends on how deep the 6-inch line goes. Because I mean, a 3 3/4 inch line would be more affordable.
Slightly. I mean, they're still $12.99, so it's not like you're saving a lot of money.
See, to me, then it's worth it more to get the 6-inch for $20. Yeah.
If they can make 50 6-inch figures, no problem. Great. If that's all that line gets, that's all it needs. 50 would be fine.
What super deep cuts would you want?
So Recondo, those random people that showed up on the show from time to time, like Airborne and Recondo, like some of the more weird figures. I'd love to get Slaughter's Marauders, all 3 of those guys.
That would be a great Comic-Con pack.
I would. Some of the vehicle drivers, some of the random weird vehicle drivers would be fun.
Who's the guy? The Snowcat didn't come with anyone. I used to just put him with it. Yeah.
Frostbite came with that, or not with that. He came with another vehicle. But there's Alpine, Frostbite, all those guys. Like a snow set would be great, if they wanted to get crazy. But as long as I think, what was that?
I think it was Alpine I used to put with that.
Oh yeah, Alpine was like one of the mainstays of the show. I mean, he was big character on the show, and he's one of the figures I don't have because he was an exclusive, and I still don't have him.
No, it wasn't Alpine.
Frostbite? Snow Job?
Snow Job.
Snow Job, okay.
Which just sounds so wrong.
That thing that those people were doing at the PowerCon, Snow Job.
Sort of. Yes, snow job with his steeds. That has to happen.
Hilarious. Yes. Well, I'm just happy to see you. Happy to talk to you. I hope everyone out there is staying safe and getting some toys and being responsible with it. I'm really happy that we didn't talk about Tiger King at all. And
I haven't watched it, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, I'm just happy we didn't talk about it because everyone else talked about it. So I'm just happy we didn't do that. But stay safe. Now's a great time. Everybody's putting stuff on eBay. Now's a great time to fill in all those holes in your collection. So go back, shop on eBay, support people, do what you can do.
You don't need food. Use your stimulus check for toys.
Hey, I've been spending my money on toys instead of food for 25 straight years. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe I'll do that and I'll lose some weight.
Exactly. I need to too. But otherwise, you guys be good, and we will try, now that Brian Charles Rooney has internet in his new place and has a few toys set up, we'll try and get back with you again soon. So we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Or face the evil look of Trapjaw.
Trapjaw, Battle Cat, and He-Man each sold separately, string not included.
That hook won't stop He-Man. And Trapjaw will use his vicious claws. Still no contest. And Trapjaw will use his wicked laser. Even a one-armed army can't stop He-Man and Battle Cat. You win this time, He-Man.
Trapjaw figure from the Masters of the Universe collection. He-Man and Battle Cat figures each sold separately from Mattel.